How's it going, guys? We have a past level question for cardio. Before we get started, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Give the video a like, really appreciate it. Find me on Instagram, Mehlman_medical, Mehlm_medical, links down below. Find us on Telegram, links to the Telegram group and channel down below, and start the clip. 54-year-old dude, no vignette on purpose, because we want you to look at this little drawing and say, what murmur is it? So it starts after S2. Is that going to be diastolic or systolic? It's going to be diastolic, right? So diastole is S2 to S1. So the question is, how many diastolic murmurs do you know? Now, left-sided murmurs are way more common than right-sided murmurs. So you could say aortic regurg and mitral stenosis are the two left-sided murmurs I know. Pulmonic regurg, tricuspid stenosis, pretty much non-existent for USMLE. Okay, we don't really need to go into the lower yield stuff. And there are other weird murmurs, like sometimes you have a ball and valve murmur with myxoma, the heart. You can get a venous hum. So there's other weird things. But the point is, we're kind of up in the air between, is this aortic regurg or mitral stenosis? And clearly this is aortic regurg, isn't it? So aortic regurg is described as an early diastolic murmur, which we have here. It can be described as a decrescendo diastolic murmur, decrescendo holodiastolic murmur. Strong's a little bit deceptive because you say, wait, if it's holodiastolic, shouldn't it be present throughout diastole? I agree with you, okay? So it's clearly the only murmur that works, though, because mitral stenosis, what would that sound like? It's going to be a opening snap in mid-diastole, right? Followed by a mid to late decrescendo diastolic murmur. So we'd have the latter part of S2 here, following between S2 and S1. We'd have the latter part being mitral stenosis. Clearly, it's not that. So we have aortic regurg. And what's most likely to be seen? Choices A and E both fucking wrong. So A and E are both part of aortic stenosis classically. So aortic stenosis is going to be mid-systolic, aka crescendo decrescendo. So that'd be between S1 and S2, not S2 to S1. And SAD, syncope, angina, dyspnea. That's aortic stenosis. Pulses parvis et tardus, slow rising pulses, radiate to the carotids. Okay, that's aortic stenosis, very high yield bicuspid aortic valve. It's a common cause of both aortic stenosis and aortic regurg. And they want you to know for aortic regurg that dissection on USMLE is going to be the most important cause. It can be hypertension, cocaine use, where you get the dissection retrograde propagates toward the aortic root, causing aortic root dilatation. All right, so A and E, wrong fucking answers. Choice B, blood pressure 150 on 50, correct answer. So it's called a wide pulse pressure that you get in aortic regurg. Big difference between systolic and diastolic pressures. Why does that happen? Because during diastole, when the aortic valve is closed, it's incompetent. So you have blood collapsing out of the aorta back into the left ventricle, so your diastolic pressure collapses. They give you blood pressure 120 on 40, 150 on 50, just big difference between the two numbers. They can say something like 100 over palpable, which means basically 100 over 0. I've seen that. And as I already talked about, dissection is a high yield cause as well as bicuspid valve. Same thing for aortic stenosis. Aortic stenosis is going to be bicuspid valve, same way aortic regurg can, okay? But dissection is going to be AR. Dissection is not associated with aortic stenosis. So let's just pop through the other ones here. Canon A wave is wrong. When students don't know an answer, they choose weird sounding shit. You don't have to know about the jugular venous pulsation curve on USMLE. You're talking like 1 out of 2,000 chance it's going to show up on your USMLE, but pretty much non-existent. Canon A waves refers to a strong atrial contraction against a closed tricuspid valve. Okay, the right atrium contracting. It's when you have AV dissociation, such as third-degree heart block. So if you have dissociation, you don't have the coordination, the synchrony between the atria and ventricles. Sometimes the right atrium can contract against the closed tricuspid valve inadvertently, and that's going to cause a major rebound impulse back up to the jugular vein, and that's why you get what are called Canon A waves. Wrong fucking answer. Choice D, myxomatous degeneration is wrong. That's going to be mitral valve prolapse in USMLE. It's just buzzy terminology for connective tissue disorders, Marfan syndrome, Ehlers-Danlos, in terms of how they affect the mitral valve. Okay, it's a histological finding you can memorize. Even though Ehlers-Danlos, Marfan syndrome can increase the risk for dissection, aortic regurg, myxomatous degeneration is not applied to AR. So it refers to MVP, which is a mid-systolic click. Choice D, wrong fucking answer.